Some breaking news for you. Official news. Ralf Rangnick has got the interim job at Manchester United. They've just been tweeting about it this morning. So, right, Rangnick in. So we've gone from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This is the interesting thing. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Carrick last weekend, Rangnick. Now we assume there's going to be another man in the summer. This is this is quite a lot for the players to get used to a new way, a new system all the time.
Yeah, and just changes and personnel changes. Some managers will get on with certain players, some won't like certain players. Michael's come in and done okay, steadied the ship. Players have looked like they've enjoyed playing for him. Energy levels, body language has been good. Rangnick comes
Two
in.
N's, I know, it's quite a mouthful.
He comes in, and now he's going to want to put his own stamp on things as well. I think it's so disruptive for the players and for the football club. If he can get it right and the players get on board, I hear that he takes no prisoners, and listen, you either do it this way or you get out. So there's going to be a lot of characters.
I'm really interested. If he does a really good job,
that's the problem.
Are they going to really go? Well, why don't we just stick with this fella? Why do we need a new one?
Well, I mean, I say that loosely. That's the problem. If Man United are doing well, then obviously you would give them the job. But it's like we've been here before.
Yeah.
So it's And then what manager does he choose that he thinks going to fit his style?
Sure.
Because I think Rangnick's work, from what I've seen in the Bundesliga over the last 5 or 6 years, is all best stuff done at a higher level. I've seen something this morning on social media about his RB Leipzig team. I say his, because he was a sort of general manager and Nagelsmann was the manager. And all their closing down and all their running stats were all first in 2018-19. So that's what he's going to bring. But like you said, Mark, if he brings a little bit of success, is the job then going to be his? Because is he now in charge? It's all a little bit messy. Is he going to be in charge till the end of the season to then find maybe a Pochettino or a Zinedine Zidane? So it's a little bit up in the air, and it's a little bit like we've just got to suck it and see how he gets on.
Yeah, if he does well, you have to give him the job.
But then that's what Ollie done.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you're comparing two different people.
No, not at all. But you're right. If somebody's
he does
going
well, he's not going to say, "Oh, yeah, hand it over now to Pochettino, Zidane."
Well, if somebody's doing well, you have to give him the job, surely.
Yeah.
If Michael Carrick was in the job for 12 games and he won 10 of them, surely you're going to say, "Well, here you go." Then.
The good thing is, as Dion said, this is a guy who's going to come in. And he's not going to be afraid to go, you're not on the side, you're not on the side, this is how we're going to play. And all those running stats where you're all at the bottom, they're going to significantly improve.
Yeah. There is a style connected and associated with him that they will have to abide by.
Now, whether the players can do that or not,
we'll see.
Different story.
1-1 for Manchester United yesterday. Just to reiterate then, Ralf Rangnick has signed this deal to be the interim manager at Manchester United. Interestingly, there is also suggestion of a 2-year consultancy that follows that as well.
I think
you still looking at those. What does that mean in English?
I think that's a little bit like the board saying, we don't know what we're doing. Come in and help us and be part of who the next manager is going to be. My only worry with that is, if it's going to be Pochettino, who likes a pressing style, then you would imagine he's going to be the man under Rangnick. If Pochettino turns it down and he stays at PSG and they go for someone like, say, it's Zidane, that's not Zidane's style, being a pressing team. He's a keeps hold of the ball, his ball retention. So I'm just left a little bit like, I'm still not sure what your plan is.
It's a bit scatty at the moment. I don't know just make a decision. Interim this, 2 years as a consultant.
But Dion,
give him the job, in other words. Say, do you want to be the full-time manager?
Well, if you do well,
you
get the job. Surely that's the way it should be. Yeah. Unless you commit to somebody, say, right, here we go, Pochettino or whoever, Zidane.
Dion, we're talking about one of the biggest clubs in the world here in Man United, one of the richest as well. If they want Pochettino next summer, why don't they just go all in now and say, what's it going to cost us, PSG? We want him. You can force it on Pochettino. He can put a transfer request in. He can request to leave the club and go to Man United. Just go and pay the money, because I don't see what difference it makes from not having Poch now or getting him at the end of the season, when potentially you could miss out on top 4. You could miss out in the Champions League. There's still a lot of the season to play for. So I could be wrong. I'm just left a little bit like, I'm not sure what the plan is. What's the master plan?
The situation they are in now, Rangnick's come in. If he comes in and does well, give him the job.
Right.
It happened with Ollie. Okay. Ollie wasn't the right man in the long term, but he did. First 17 games, he did brilliant.
But on the strength of Rangnick doing what in world football, apart from being the guy at the highest level who brings Klopp and he brings Tuchel and he brings Nagelsmann and he brings these young coaches through. On the strength of giving him the manager's job, on what basis?
Winning games. That's it.
But
If you go into a football club and you win games...
He's never managed a big club before.
But the thing about it is, if you're winning games, that's what you've come in to do, to get the team to win. I don't understand
But you know, like we talk about getting Ollie... we talk about Ollie getting in from Mulder.
Yeah.
You go, that's a bit of a risk.
But he was right. He was right to get the job at the time, Ollie, because he won games. He was on
fire.
But
he didn't quite have the CV. The Rangnick's got a much better CV, hasn't he?
100%.
In terms of managing at the top level Bundesliga with Hoffenheim, with Leipzig. He may not be a serial multiple winner of trophies, but his CV and his experience was much more than Solskjaer's was.
Yeah, but I would suggest when you're managing Leipzig and you're managing Hoffenheim, listen, I wouldn't say it's easier, but you can see the level that he tries to get those clubs at. When you're managing a Liverpool or a Bayern Munich or a Man United, you've got to be number one.
Yes. Yeah.
Not like you're getting Hoffenheim.
I think your point is, has he won quite enough? Is a valid one.
It's not like you're getting Hoffenheim from bottom half into top six. Great achievement. It's not like you're managing the whole Red Bull and you're getting them from where they want to be into a Champions League spot. You're now manager, or you're going to be manager of Man United.
Yeah, but haven't Man United they've had very decorated managers in the period between Sir Alex Ferguson and now.
They've had two of the most decorated in Van Gaal and Mourinho.
And what have they done?
This is why they're searching for a solution.
Exactly.
Let us bring you what Ralf Rangnick has had to say. I'm excited to be joining Manchester United and focused on making this a successful season for the club. The squad is full of talent, has a great balance of youth and experience. All my efforts for the next 6 months will be on helping these players fulfil their potential, both individually and most importantly as a team. Beyond that, I look forward to supporting the club's longer-term goals on a consultancy basis. OK, so he's confirmed there. Yeah. Two-year deal, we think, consultancy basis for whoever it is they want to bring in the summer. OK, there we go.
I'm not a downer on Rangnick.
No,
at all.
I think it's...
I'm just trying to figure out what
and I think everybody knows, don't
I think that's where he will excel. I think maybe we can try and fast forward till the summer and then Rangnick appoints a manager. That's where I think he could be brilliant. Once he goes in at the higher level and then he has a control of the whole structure.
Sure.
What's happening for 17s? What's happening under 18s? Where's the coaches that are going to come through in a few years' time? Because that's what he does, as we said, with Nagelsmann and Klopp and Thomas Tuchel.
When you look at the team that played at Chelsea yesterday, do you think there's any way that Rangnick had an impact on this selection, or do you think it was completely independent? Michael Carrick's decision to leave Ronaldo on the bench.
There might have been some phone calls. Nobody knows. I'm pretty sure he's had phone calls with Michael already, Michael Carrick. It was a very, very changed team. Players were left out, which I wasn't expecting to be left out as well, but they got an okay result. There was better body language again. It's a really hard one to fathom what's going on at United because I don't think anybody knows.
Well, Michael got asked that question.
Yes, and he said it was his team, didn't he?
Michael's very trustworthy and very honest, and he said no, it was my team.
Yeah. So he is the king of Gengen pressing, counter pressing, isn't he, Rangnick? And
see, that makes me laugh.
That's a new one. I've never heard that one.
I mean, we've never been pressing in the 70s or the 80s or the 90s, so that one tickles me. So you hear high press.
Yes.
In our day, that was closing down.
Yes.
You hear low block.
Yes.
In our day, that was defending deep.
But there's one big difference between then and now. I said it in German.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
but let me tell you now, in Everton, Colin Harvey and Howard Kendall were doing it.
Yeah.
Sir Alex was doing it. Ron Atkinson was doing it.
Billy
Bonds was doing it.
Ian Rush was brilliant, wasn't he? Pressing from the front.
But managers like Billy Bonds and managers like Ron Atkinson and Colin Harvey and Howard Kendall and Sir Alex and Kenny. It's not like this is brand new. Can you run around a bit and we'll call it pressing from the front?
Yeah. just occasionally we just have to peek them, don't we?
Honestly, you just prodded me. Prodded.
I got a big one in today.
You did, yeah.
Chuck him back. I've seen it before. What will Ronaldo? Now, you and I watched Messi in the week.
Yes.
And there's a man who doesn't press and didn't want to press.
No.
Ronaldo's not a presser.
Ronaldo's never been a presser.
So how's this going to work?
Again, there's always, and I've said it, Don knows it, there's always one luxury in your side. You allow him to do what he needs to do in order to get you over the line with goals and offensive play. And let him do what he's got to do. He'll do his little bit. He won't do as much as most. But you have to have players like that in your side.
Turn him into a number 10.
Let him do what he
when
wants.
You think Arsenal, you think they had Thierry Henry or Ian Wright and at Dennis Bergkamp. Man United had Cantona. Play him as a number 10. Just give him a little bit of a free roll, but
Correct.
have a structure behind.
Leave him play between the posts.
Yeah, just fit him in.
Get him into a position when he hasn't got the ball and, stay behind the ball for it. Don't be squeezing and all that kind of... He's never going to be the trigger.
No.
For squeezing.
Thank you, John.
He's never going to be the trigger for the squeeze. Or the high press.
Shall we go full circle and bring the squeeze?
Yes, the squeeze.
And,
Bring it back.
And closing down, Brad.
Bring it back.
Yeah.
Trigger with a squeeze. Let's have a look at the goals from yesterday then. And Manchester United taking the lead after Jorginho failed to bring one down. I think Jorginho thought he was a rugby fullback at one stage. When we have a look at this goal, what's really interesting is Rashford staying... Rashford runs offside, doesn't he?
I think he
Sancho must have been going, what are you doing?
he gets a little bit excited.
Can I give Jorginho a little bit of an out? He suggests he loses the ball now in the floodlights.
Is he colourblind?
No, floodlights.
Right, yeah.
That's the only out I can give him. Okay. But you're right, in Rashford, he's offside.
Rashford's offside, Chris, isn't he?
Yeah, Rashford is offside. Dion, in that situation, as a ref, I'm thinking, I've got a big decision. It might be a penalty, it might be a yellow, it might be a red. What's going through your mind as a striker there?
Oh, once you get the ball once the ball at your feet, I know exactly what kind of finish I'm going to do before I get to the keeper.
You're not passing it?
Regardless of... Because what it is, when you're in a situation like that, unless you're 100% sure that he can score, you don't pass it. He was, but he was offside. If you add another element to a finish, then you're adding another chance of it going wrong. It's like taking a touch in the box. If you don't have to,
I see, yeah.
If you don't have to take a touch, don't take a touch in the box because it gives a chance for you to be closed down. As Sancho, I'm thinking, right, I'm going to get the ball and I'm going to finish exactly how he did. It's the easiest finish. Don will tell you it's an easiest finish down by the keeper's feet, left or right.
Especially after a good shimmy, because he just knocks him off balance.
And he keeps the keeper moving as well.
Good awareness as well, because I wonder if he spots that Rashford as offside.
Yeah, I think...
Because where he's bearing down on the goalkeeper, the easy option, the easiest out of all of them, is just a little 2-yard pass tap-in.
Yeah.
But he must have realised that Rashford was too eager. And you can see he's always ahead of the ball now, Rashford. He's not slowing down. So in the end, very, very clever from Jadon Sancho.
Sancho had no option. He had to shoot.
Are you shooting there, Dom?
This honestly... No word of a lie, is my worst scenario on a pitch. What I was terrible at was having too much time to think.
Yeah.
I relied on my technique.
And instinct.
I relied on instinct. If I have option one, option finish down the side, there's too much going on. And there's every chance I'd pick the wrong one.
Yeah.
Because just finish it. Ball at your feet, bang, finish. That's why these guys were so good.
Just another quick one. Jorginho could have taken out all the risk and headed it.
I know.
He could have done, but he's a total footballer, isn't he?
Yes.
And he just tried to bring the ball down and play, which would have looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
He just got his touch wrong.
Yeah.
He could see the ball, by the way. We know he could see the ball. His touch was awful, and it got nicked. Simple as that.
I said I lost the ball once because of the sun, and Graham Souness nearly ripped my head off.
Yeah.
I blamed it on the sun.
Yeah. It was December at St James's Park.
Snowing.
1-1, the penalty given away, Wan-Bissaka. It's a penalty, Chris. He's taken good time inside left channel. Anthony Taylor's taken good time, hasn't he?
We like that inside left channel. He took his time, reviewed it. I've got to say, Anthony Taylor refereed this game yesterday really well. He drifted in and drifted out when he needed to. You know, he punished the foul and let the fur go, but that's a penalty.
This is the best angle.
Yeah.
No, sorry, the next angle is the best one because Wan-Bissaka, this is the best one. Look at Wan-Bissaka, he's looking at the ball.
Yeah.
He's trying to volley the ball. And what you do if you're Thiago Silva is you get your body in and you stick a leg and you make him kick the back of your
Wait for the contact, don't you?
Yeah.
High-octane game, wasn't it? High octane.
It's a very good penalty from Jorginho, who's given away the goal and has cost Italy possibly a World Cup place because his missed penalty, had 2 missed penalties against Switzerland, means they've got to play Portugal now in the playoffs. So actually, that's good. That's a good nerve from Jorginho.
He's eye on the ball and knows exactly what's going on. Look at that, not even
Brilliant
looking.
eyes.
Look at that.
Brilliant eyes.
Yeah, great eyes.
You know, see where the keeper is, go the opposite way. He's cool. He's cool under pressure. He made a couple of mistakes, but more often than not, he gets it right.
Chelsea have impressed us a lot, but they've had some chances to win this game. We can see them. They don't take advantage. They're beaten at home by Man City. I know they had a man sent off at Anfield, so that's probably explains why they didn't hold on to the lead there. But if you were Chelsea, would you be a little bit frustrated that when you've come to the biggest matches of the season, you haven't managed, both Manchester teams haven't won either?
No, I mean, this is a game, I was watching it, and they could have been 3-0 up inside half an hour. I mean, that's a great strike from Rudiger. Yeah. Hudson-Odoi had the big chance. I think where he's going to start learning, I think.
Oh, look at that.
I don't want to be too much of a downer. but I just don't get the feeling that Timo Werner's going to cut it in the Premier League.
No.
I've seen analysis on him. I think he's very snatchy. I don't think his runs are particularly good. And I think the 2 games that have gone away from them, that one for sure, because they should have won it, and the Burnley game, that's the one where Thomas Tuchel's thinking, we need to be a little bit more ruthless, because if they take the lead early on in the United game and get the first goal, they go on and win that 2 or 3.
In other words, does this game sum up for you, maybe, I don't want to put words in your mouth, why maybe they're a tiny bit behind City, or maybe even Liverpool, I don't know. I mean, I said Chelsea at the beginning of the season, and as I've told you to, you're not allowed to change horses on this programme, so I've got to stick with them.
Yes.
But would you say they're a tiny bit behind?
I'll stick with City.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yes,
how's
the
that
City
Everton
of
horse?
Manchester. Yeah.
How's the Everton horse?
It's going that way.
But would it sum up for you why they're maybe a tiny bit behind City and maybe Liverpool?
Yeah, I think Liverpool and City, maybe an echelon.
I don't think there's anything in it. Because you're going to get Lukaku back. He was on the bench at the weekend.
Which is a big difference.
Massive.
Massive difference.
Yeah. Let's have a look at some of the fixtures just before we go to the first break for Ralf Rangnick. And now apparently he's applying for a visa, so we cannot say for certain he'll be in the dugout on Thursday against Arsenal. But they are playing Arsenal, then home to Palace.
Great fixtures.
Away at Norwich, away at Brentford, home to Brighton, away to Newcastle. That's a good run of fixtures.
I think if you put those fixtures on a piece of paper, you would say they should win. They should win 5 of those fixtures.
Yes.
They should win 5, without any question. Man United versus Palace, Norwich, Brentford, Brighton and Newcastle.
Hang on. They've got Newcastle away.
Yeah.
That's a big game, but they should win that game.
So it's a good run of fixtures for him to have, isn't it?
Great run.
So it was a point apiece between Chelsea and Manchester United. I shamelessly plugged in a fan heater at the game, front row Stamford Bridge.
No shame in that.
And I've kept the row very warm. I mean, Greenpeace aren't going to be too happy with it, but I kept very, very toasty. Look, there'll be people watching around the world in Canada going, what do you want about? It's like -1 here and we're all complaining. Let's go to the bridge and speak to Alex Aljo, who actually turned down a ticket to go to the game because it was too cold.
No.
That's the true story as well. She's at Stamford Bridge now. She's got the Christmas tree up. Missed opportunity for Chelsea, Alex.
I want to start, Will, by answering your question of the day, because it's obviously Thomas Tuchel, because he's the tallest manager, so he's going to make the biggest snowman. You know that last bit?
Oh,
he's
yeah.
Gonna, it's obvious, it's Thomas Tuchel. Yeah.
Good shout.
Anyway, well, let's move on to that. Let's move on to the game yesterday. Yeah, it was a draw that felt like a defeat for Chelsea here at Stamford Bridge. A far cry from what we saw against Juventus earlier in the week in the Champions League. Chelsea with 24 attempts on goal. Manchester United with just 3. David De Gea said he felt in danger for most of the game, but it was Jadon Sancho who opened the scoring after a mistake from Jorginho. He totally misjudged it. He was Chelsea's last defender, and Sancho capitalised on his mistake, took advantage, and Tuchel said after the game that Jorginho had been distracted by the floodlights, but 20 minutes later he was able to make amends as Aaron Wan-Bissaka brought Thiago Silva down in the box. A typical cool, calm penalty from Jorginho to level the score up. Then I think in the 97th minute, Antonio Rudiger was the wrong man in the right place. Pulisic crossed it in, Rudiger wide open in front of goal. He could have won it for Chelsea, but he was unable to. He went onto social media after the game. He said he apologised for his mistake and said that Tuchel fell to his knees on the final whistle, fell to the ground at the end. We'll see how much of an impact those drop points will have for Chelsea. But Tuchel said after the game that he's not focusing on the points.
Well, he sounds very calm there, Alex, talking about the point and saying it could be a good point and they'll see what kind of point it is at the end of the season. But do you think he was quite as calm about his strikers, because they didn't have the best day yesterday, did they?
The numbers say it all, Kelly. In their last 2 home games in the Premier League, they've had 49 shots, faced just 8 themselves, with 100 touches in the opponent's area, and failed to win both of those games. It was a game to forget for Timo Werner as well. His first start since the 20th of October, but he really didn't make the most of his opportunity. He was playing too deep, wasn't enough of a threat in the 6-yard box. Tuchel said after the game that in hindsight, maybe he actually wasn't ready to play. This, in some ways, was a performance which resembled Chelsea under Frank Lampard when they were superior for a lot of matches, but just couldn't make the most of their opportunities, take advantage of them. And it's actually the defenders who've been chipping in for Chelsea recently. They've been the names on the score sheet. Reece James, a leading goal scorer, most assists as well, which is really worrying for Chelsea, because it's not going to be, it doesn't look like it's going to be their attacking ruthlessness that's going to win in the Premier League this season if you look at the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool. So yeah, worrying for Thomas Tuchel.
Alex, he didn't make many changes really until late on, Thomas Tuchel. Do you think that's to do with the fixture list coming up, the festive fixture list ahead?
Yeah, maybe will. They are away at Watford in just 2 days' time. They have been unlucky with injuries, so maybe Thomas Tuchel is trying to protect his players. He made 4 changes to the starting 11 from their last Premier League game. He brought in Marcos Alonso, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner. Marcos Alonso in for the injured Ben Chilwell, but Alonso didn't look up to speed. He didn't look fit enough, maybe lacking minutes. He's been on the bench for a lot of the season. Very strong bench, as you say. He didn't make the most of it, probably made those substitutes too late. Pulisic looked lively when he came on, but he only came on in the 78th minute. Lukaku looked good as well, but he only came on in the 82nd minute. But Thomas Tuchel said that was all he was ready for. But there were a lot of angry fans here at Stamford Bridge. My dad told me, yeah, because I wasn't here, and they were all screaming for those substitutes to go on a bit earlier. Unlike Thomas Tuchel, not to make those right decisions. But Carrick came here with a game plan, and it worked. Thomas Tuchel's game plan didn't really work.
The game against Watford on Wednesday probably is now going to be of even greater importance for Chelsea because of those drop points at the weekend. Do you think we could see a few changes going into that, given the congested fixture list?
I think if you look at Thomas Tuchel's squad, he's got so many options, so many different variations he could play. And also, if you think about it, they've got 5 players going away today to Paris overnight, so he's going to have even less training time with those players. So maybe the 5 players that are going to that Ballon d'Or ceremony tonight, overnight stay, come back tomorrow, the day before the Watford game, maybe they'll get a rest on Wednesday night at Vicarage Road. Speaking about the Ballon d'Or ceremony, takes place later at the Châtelet Theatre in Paris. 5 Chelsea players nominated, as I just said: Azpilicueta, Jorginho, Lukaku, Mason Mount and N'Golo Kante, while Edouard Mendy is also going to be there because he's nominated for the Ashen Trophy for the best goalkeeper. A massive occasion for all of those players. Mason Mount has said it's totally blown his mind that he's been included in the shortlist. It's not only the first time he's attended the gala, it's also the first time he's going to wear a bow tie. Messi, the favourite to win it. Mason Mount said he remembers being here, a ball boy, when Messi came to the bridge. Also, another thing to mention, the Club World Cup draw takes place later. That's at the FIFA headquarters in Switzerland. Chelsea play in the Club World Cup early 2022, and John Terry will be there for that draw.
Yeah, looked like he was wearing a flute or something, didn't it, Mason Mount?
Oh, he looked smart though, looked good.
Yeah, he looked good. Yeah, GQ magazine, there we go. And I wonder, Alex talked about the snowman at the beginning. Did Thomas Tuchel put the star on that Christmas tree at Stamford Bridge? Probably did,
I don't
didn't
think he's that tall.
He's a big guy. Alex, thank you very much.
Yes.
The Ballon d'Or's interesting, isn't it? Because Messi, and when you look at the calendar year, it's not the greatest 2021. He wins it every year, doesn't he? But he hasn't been absolutely brilliant. Look at someone like Jorginho, and other people outside the Premier League, Erling Haaland, Lewandowski. They've been absolutely smashing it. Jorginho's had a fantastic year. Won the Euros, won the Champions League.
It's going to be Messi again, isn't it?
But it's going to be Messi again.
It will probably be Messi. Yeah. Yes. Anyway, focusing back on that game at Stamford Bridge last night. As for United, it was a good result for them. Their caretaker boss, Michael Carrick, did say after the game that he was proud, but the star-studded Matchday Live team are aware that there is no quick fix.
You can't put a team out, a Man United team, with the talent that's in that squad, you can't put a team out like that every week to play that way and try and win and get up the league and win a league. That's what my point. Today was, for me, Michael's got it absolutely spot on. Whoever picked the team has got it absolutely spot on for today's performance against Chelsea in the form that they're in. Paul, you're correct. They're a great side at the moment, in a great run. They couldn't come here today and be expansive. But for going forward, I know Manchester United fans are not going to stand for playing that way, because there's going to be games when they play that way and they're going to lose. So it's a stepping stone, but it's not the template for United to go forward.
Where do you stand on all this?
I'm always balancing it, and I totally get what the lads are saying. I'm just thinking, for the future, sometimes I think you've got to have less of a short-term. OK, the best chance they had of getting points today was doing what they did. So yeah. I sit here and agree with that.
But moving forward now.
But I just wonder what, you know, if your end game is to be up there with Manchester City, Liverpool, play the way they do, which they don't really change for many teams at the moment. You look at Liverpool, they don't change when they go away. If you want to get to that level, that's my next question to the lads. Well, is this short-term thinking then just going to try to grab a point, which is fine, which is good. They've grabbed the point, so, I'm sat here sort of... But they're better. They've got to want more than that in the future.
Are they better than that, Michael? I know
but
exactly
how
what
do they
you're saying.
get better than what they are at the minute?
Well, I think it has to be coaching. It has to be
It can't
better
be.
players.
You can't be playing like that, can it?
You think in the midfield area, can that team compete with Manchester City? Can it compete with Liverpool, keeping the ball the way they do? The quality's not there, Michael.